Yo, I think this is the first time I've gone live here with uh, with you guys. I don't know if if you can even hear or not. I see it right here on the mic auxiliary that it's coming in. So I guess there's a delay. But anyway, I wanted to just speak about a couple of the things that I've shared on here recently, and then I guess some things that I've mentioned from before. So, um, and also I guess to show some of the the paperwork that I just recently filed here, trying to seek resolution and relief to what it is I got going on with my case here. So let's see. I'm going to see if I get this right. If I do this right. All right, there's my screen. I'm not sure how it's coming out right there for you guys. But and I don't know. I see someone on there, so I don't know if they could say if you can hear me or you can see my screen. Let me know. Okay, so here is not those documents. Okay, those. All right. All right. Um, did it come out? I don't know. I'm sharing the screen, but I'm not sure if it came out. So if somebody could write there and let me know, or maybe I'll try and check on my phone here real quick to see if it came out. Let me check here. Okay, so I know I could hear myself, but I guess I can't see the screen I'm sharing. Hmm, doesn't seem to be coming out. So anyway, what I see constantly here, I guess some of you guys don't seem to understand what consent means, and that's how you keep falling into this hole as far as getting thrown in jail, getting you know the 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 money that you're paying, the income withholding orders, and all of these things. Um, so now everything is consent, and we understand that there's contracts. Everything is contracts. Everything is consent. And once you start seeing it on that side of how things are happening, it all becomes that much simpler. Now, no matter what, you can always stand your ground. You could follow the law and do everything the right way. But there is no guarantee that they are going to follow the law and do everything the right way. Now, the reason why they can do what they do is because law has a lot of gray area, and everything is up for interpretation, and it just goes to whoever makes the best interpretation of said law or whatever it may be. Now, if there's a rule, or some kind of law, and they're saying this is what the law means, you know, and nobody rebuts it, therein is how they're able to do what they do. Therein is how the default order comes in. Therein is how everything happens. Okay? All right. So, checking to see here. So, anyway, so that's how it all occurs. And consent first happened, way back when the baby was born, and the baby became property of the state. When the birth certificate, with the state seal on it and all that, because everything is consent. You consented to going to a hospital and giving birth at said hospital and signing this birth certificate, and you know, and in order to put your name on the birth certificate, that's where the paternity thing is, and all that, basically, where it says, where they create the unconscionable contract, and they don't give you full disclosure, where it said, on here, the rights and responsibilities of signing this document. But nobody's telling you anything. They're like, here, read through it and sign, and that's it. They expect you to know and understand, and then they want you to sign and says, I understand, right? And that's how they get away with it from the very beginning, right? Baby becomes property of the state, and you have to go through them to do anything, right? All right, so let's jump ahead. Why we're in the child support mess, right? Because everybody is placed in the database. Everybody is, all right? Well, fathers at least, because of the signing on the birth certificate there. So everything is consent, right? Your driver's license, your job, your everything. People say, you're being forced to do this and forced to do that. No, you don't. You're not being forced to do anything. You're not even forced to live in the United States. Nobody's forcing you to do anything, right? Nobody's forced. So when you get in the child support mess, once you're in there, and the the whole thing is occurring there, and it starts at the very beginning, where they want you to include your financials, and then it's the child support calculator, right? And you give a financial statement and all that from the very beginning, because it's going through the courts for said custody order, divorce, whatever it may be. From the very beginning, you're in their jurisdiction, because you're asking them to fix a problem for you, right? Law is written in a way that all parties are reasonable, unless there is an actual finding of someone with a mental health issue. But law is written in a way that all parties are reasonable, unless by law someone is deemed, unable to make their own decisions. So with law being written that way, when you come to them for a disagreement, you are consenting for them to decide, within the jurisdiction of the rules of the laws, how things are going to be divided. It's almost like person A and person B have a disagreement. So if they can't disagree, then they go to person over here, who is a mutual unbiased party, to decide for them. And then it's like, okay, so what are the rules in which this decision is going to be made? and that's jurisdiction. Jurisdiction is like, okay, this is family law, so this is how these rules will be presided on. Based on family law, inside these rules is how we're going to decide the decision for this disagreement, right? So within their scope of this disagreement, within their family law, is the child support order, which was birthed from the which came from the birth certificate. So now you have the child support in with the family law, and they like to pretend that it all goes together. It is comes from it, from together, but they process it separately, or they handle it separately. They make it a separate issue. Know this though. Know this: where their interests and um, where their interests lie in this whole entire thing, because if and this happens to a lot of guys. It happened to me. Baby mama doesn't produce the child, so you know, you call the police, they don't do nothing, right? You have to go to court and you have to file a motion to enforce or to show cause, all these things. They would have to comply. If they don't comply, they got to do review hearings. They got to somehow make her to comply, right? They go through all of this, right, to ultimately, she still gets to do whatever she wants to do if she doesn't want to produce the child. Now, the state doesn't care if you get to see your kid or not. They don't care. Government doesn't care. What they care about is their money. They care about their incentives. So that's why when there's the child support order and they get involved, that's why the attorney general steps in and they got prosecutors and their own special method and all this stuff, because what they care about is the money. It's all about the money, and it has nothing to do with the kids. Blessing versus Freestone. So to any of you guys that are new, Blessing versus Freestone, they have no right. And then I think it was Holmberg versus Holmberg, where mothers filed a class action lawsuit against the child support agency, and and they dismissed it because since the agency and the courts are obligated of service to the mothers for the child support order, the agency isn't. So so it's not a right, is what it is, and they threw it out. And this was a class action lawsuit, right? So child support has nothing to do with the kids. Okay? The sooner you understand that child support has nothing to do with the kids, the sooner you'll know what type of hole you're actually in. All right? It's a contract. Backwards, forwards, left, right, black and white. It is a contract. Okay? Contracts happen with consent. Right? Now, because a company can only do business with a company, and only man could do business with man or woman, right? That's why you have your all caps name, right? And you're a corporation, and that's how they can do business with you, because you got to answer to the name and whatnot and whatever. But that's, for anybody that doesn't understand, that's a whole nother thing, So, in order for there to be any kind of, because in law, it all comes down to contracts and man or woman and man or woman, right? That's what it is. And then you have your disagreement, and then you have your judge that decides between the two parties, right? And then they just decide the jurisdiction for what kind of laws and rules they're going to use to figure out this disagreement. So you don't have a contract with the agency, right? Is the agency a man or woman? No, they're a company, right? How can the company this corporation do what they do? Because you're there speaking for your corporation, right? For your name, right? And then when you consent, then that's where they're able to do everything they do. How is it? It's basically, slave labor. And this is no disrespect to, to black people at all or anything like that. Because they were slaves, basically forced to labor against their will, and that is what child support wants you to do: force labor against your will. Now, this is nowhere near how terrible it was, but it's only to draw like a comparison in writing as opposed to what it is forced labor, right? They want to make you work, you know. Now, that only happens with consent. And so we have that. Now, consent, it happens any number of ways. Their forced consent is, for instance, the income withholding order. Now, the employer, they don't have to agree. They don't have to follow the agency's letter that says you need to, we got this letter from the agency, and or whatever. They think they got a court order, right? That's what your employer thinks. You think you have a court order. Everyone, even the police, they all think you have a court order, right? You understand that police goes to study things that have to do with police, and they don't study law. The police don't know the law. The police only study the scope of what they're allowed to do at their job. Kind of like a family law attorney doesn't know contract law. They study law, but they don't know contract law. A bankruptcy attorney knows nothing about family law. So attorneys are allowed to lie to you. The court's allowed to lie to you. Prosecutors are allowed to lie to you. Everybody's allowed to lie to you. Keep this in mind. If you're ever in court and they ask you to swear in, keep this in mind. Is the judge swearing in? Is the prosecutor swearing in? Is the attorney swearing in? Is your attorney swearing in? Nobody is swearing in except a real man or woman or a real man or woman, right? Because you need a first-hand witness. You need a party, another party. You need an injury or an issue or the subject matter of what they're discussing. Earlier, Ronald posted something about subject matter jurisdiction. And if you don't understand what that is basically that's the topic of what's happening. Because you have your party. The topic of what is at issue is the subject matter, right? And there's jurisdiction for that subject matter. Okay? So, let's put it like this. Two teams playing a football game, right? The Bears versus the Packers. And there's your referee, your judge, that is deciding what the call is. If there was an offsides or something, how is it an offsides? Well, based on, what occurred. The referee gets to decide. The referee decides based on the rules of the NFL. The referee decides on what's happening in the game based on the subject matter. The subject is an offsides, right? And that comes from the rules of the game. The same thing. In court, the subject matter. If it's family law, that's the subject matter jurisdiction. You have your party, the subject matter, family law, that's the jurisdiction. Those are the rules they're going to follow. And here's your mediator, your referee. Now, your mediator, your referee, your judge, whatever they may be, they are supposed to follow these rules. Now, family law, they call it, there's a term for it. I forget what it is. It's God damn it. I can't believe I don't remember what the term is, but there's a term for the type of law that it is. It's almost like a, God damn it. So basically, it's of limited jurisdiction. There we go. Family law is a court of limited jurisdiction, right? So how is something from limited jurisdiction able to get the jurisdiction of being able to arrest you for child support, right? How do they have limited jurisdiction over here and then it's able to escalate into your freedom being taken from you? And therein lies where they separate them. You have your custody, family law issue thing right here, and then you have your child support. They separate these issues. All right? So this becomes a procedure based on the federal rules of civil procedure. And each state has their own rules. Like for instance, I'm in Arizona. Arizona rules of civil procedure, and that's how they go through and they do their child support things that they do, and they have those laws, right, that they're supposed to follow to deal with this matter. But it's a separate matter from your family law, right? It's a different jurisdiction. Now they like to cloak it. They like to make it appear that way. However, it is not. You're not in a court. Although at the same time, one could argue that everything is court. Like getting married with somebody is a court. Your referee mediator is the priest or whomever officiant that's marrying you, based on the laws of that state or whatever. So in a way, everything is court, and in a way, child support is not court. So, but that's a whole broad whatever. I don't want to get off track now. So anyway, so it says in law that the child support court must be presided on by somebody who is not a judge, right? So this court, they make it appear like it's a court. The entire thing is cloaked in fraud, right? They have a judge sitting up top, so to speak, that has the power to preside over you. They have these rules that they create that you're supposed to follow. They have, but it's their court. It's the child support's court. They have they set the whole thing up. So walking into this thing, it's already in their favor because it's their judge that child support pays. It's their court. They're basically paying to rent a room inside the courthouse. They're paying for this person with a cloak to decide the rules that you're supposed to follow. They're paying for all of that, right? And how are they going to get reimbursed? You're going to pay. That's how they're going to get this money back. You don't need to be in their room. You don't need to associate with them, talk with them. You don't need to do a goddamn thing. No. You can, coram non judice. That's right there. Yeah, that's right. That's correct. Yeah. So, to be outside of jurisdiction, you got to see it like, okay, I'm not interested. This has nothing to do with me. You give validation to anything in which you're arguing about with them. Like think about it like if your wife or girlfriend accuses you of cheating, but you didn't cheat, are you going to defend it or just be like, well, I didn't cheat. I didn't cheat. I don't know what you're talking about. Right? And they're going to say, well, I found such message. I found this. I saw that. I saw that. I saw that. Whatever. Doesn't matter. I didn't cheat. Right? Now, if you start defending it and you're saying, well, what text message? Now you're giving validation to the claim. Right? Also in law, a first-hand witness that can corroborate a story is how murderers can get put away. So you got to understand the importance of a first-hand witness. So now, the state uses the mother as the first-hand witness, right? And they're trying to cloak it in child support and the child's best interest. You don't have a contract with that prosecutor. You don't have a contract with the attorney general. You don't, right? But they're trying to cloak it that way, best interest. Anybody could get away with anything with best interests, right? So the mother acts as the first-hand witness, right? In other words, she gets a finder's fee. Child support is nothing more than a finder's fee for the mother, and state support for the state. So the injured party, they claim, is the state, right? A building with the word state on it, right? A badge, a stranger with a badge that says state on it. Do you know that person? Have you met them? Have you at some point sat down with them and said, hey, I agree to this, I agree to that, whatever, whatever? No, you never have. So what are you doing there talking to them about something that has nothing to do with you? Right? And it comes from the family law order. Oh, there's a family law order, there's child support. We're here for that. Okay. That's what you're here for. Great. So what are you doing? Because you weren't over there when the family law order and all that was going about. Right? So they're not an attorney for the mother. It is actually in the paperwork that they sign in order to get welfare and benefits. It's in the contract. The mother signs the contract, and I think I've posted it on here. It's on the files. That actually says, the state does not represent you nor the child. The state represents the state's interest. Like there, none of this is hidden. None of this is hidden. This is all there for you guys. Your own state has the rules and contracts and everything. It's all there. It's not hidden. But because it's available to you and you didn't research it and you didn't find these things out, it's your fault. It's your fault. It is. And that's just how it is. That's what they do. All right. So, in court, you have this order to appear, right? Only the dead can appear, right? Only ghosts can appear, not a man or woman. We don't appear, right? Only the dead can rise, right? Not a man or woman, right? So you distinguish yourself from that by, I'm making a special appearance, okay? You got to be very specific, not a general appearance. It's in your state laws and statutes. It says voluntary appearance, voluntary, it's all by general appearance. So, from the very beginning, you show up to a place where there's people talking about something. And you're like, whoa, I didn't want to be here. So I'm making a special appearance to be here. And they're talking about something that has nothing to do with you. It doesn't. It has nothing to do with you. Now, they'll show you a picture of you. They'll show you your name and say, this is you, this is you, this is you, this is you, this is you. No, it's not. You are that living, breathing man standing over here. Okay? You're not all these things that they're claiming you are. And you don't need to argue with them. You could just politely say, no, I'm not interested. Right? You stand out here the entire time. They want to bring you into the circle. They want to do what they can do to bring you into their circle. Don't get in that circle. Don't be a part of their game. I am present by special appearance. I reserve all my rights and I waive none. I'm present by special appearance as the accused, as whatever you refer to yourself as the paperwork, but don't accept their title. Don't accept their title. Call yourself the Ant King. Doesn't matter. It's your title, not theirs. Who are they to determine your status? They cannot. And if you accept their title, you accept their contract. You accept all of that. So refer to yourself as the accused, or as the injured, or as the harmed. Like I am present in propria persona. By the way, there's a difference between propria persona and uh, pro, pro se. Just so you know, pro se is someone acting or representing themselves with the knowledge of attorneys. Pro per is someone in their proper person, and I know there's the reason. There's the definition of person. If you guys don't know, look up what a legal person is. So you're not a person, you're a man. So, but even though person is in propria persona, that's okay. Kind of like appearance is in special appearance, right? Just as long as you have your specific, uh, I guess it's a pronoun or adjective. I don't remember. Your description of what that is. So you have your special appearance, not a general appearance. You're in propria persona. You're not pro se. You're not a respondent, a defendant. You're not their titles. You need to be you. Okay? First and foremost. So you're you. You show up to this thing because you're going to be an honor. Always be an honor. They're claiming that this is you. They sent you this paperwork. They say it's you. They're claiming it's you. Okay, you know what? I'm going to be an honor and I'm going to come and correct the record. Okay? Because they're writing the record and they're saying, this is you. This is what's going on. We could come after you for this. They are writing the record and it's up to you to correct the record by your filings, your objection. Okay? You make your special appearance. Everything gets filed, right? Make an affidavit, notice of special appearance, all of that. You're writing your paperwork for whatever reason it is that's going on. And in this case, it's child support. Obviously, you want it to be dismissed because, one, it has nothing to do with you, lack of subject matter jurisdiction. You want nature and cause of action, like where is this coming from, And, essentially, you want them to dismiss it, right? They're going to talk about something that has nothing to do with you, and you just show up and be like, "Hey, look, you guys believe this is me? Look, this has nothing to do with me. Just go ahead and dismiss this matter. You guys got it wrong. I'm here to correct the record." Right? Okay. All right. So, from there, the only resolution is one of two things, because they're either going to listen to you or they're not. So dismiss this matter or write an order. Okay? Dismiss this matter, write an order. Because what else do you want? Because if they're going to proceed and do whatever the hell they want and they're not going to follow the law, then what is the purpose in arguing over something that has nothing to do with you? It has nothing to do with you. Okay? So you show up for immediate resolution. I reserve my rights and I waive none. I am present by special appearance in propria persona. I am the accused. I am only present to have this matter dismissed with prejudice or write an order so that I can appeal. What other resolution do you want? Right? Do you want to argue about the case? No. Why? Because once you start arguing, you give validation to their claim against you. So you have nothing to say to them. And they say, well, the judge, the referee, or whoever was like, well, I disagree with that and this and that and this and that and this and that and this and that. Who cares? Who cares what they say? Okay? Doesn't matter what they say because they're not witnesses. They're not a party. They can say whatever they want and they can lie. They can say and do whatever they want. You can only control what you do. So control what you do and don't participate. Don't participate. You have to file as much first. You can't just show up and be like, hey, I'm not going to participate. You got to let them know ahead of time. It needs to be on the record, right? You got to file your paperwork first. So you show up and they disagree with you. They're like, well, we're going to proceed anyway because we're going to do this. all right, I'm going to stay in honor. You do whatever you have to do. Meanwhile, I'm an outsider of this little circle. You have this little circle, or more accurately, it's a square because they're your squares of jurisdiction that they need, right? That's a square. Wait, that's a square. That's a square. It's a rectangle. But you stay outside of it and be like, all right, I'm not interested. You know, somebody mentioned something about they'll ask a firm, because I was asked that. I don't know if any of you have seen my videos, right? On the channel, I'm So Offended. It's three O's. I'm so offended. Anyway, I have 3 videos of what actually happened in my hearings. Like, it's the whole hearing, I'm not hiding anything there. You saw, they said, well, if you don't want to swear in, you can affirm. No, I'm not affirming anything. Right? I just stayed outside of their jurisdiction the whole time. That's what I did. I consented to nothing. I gave them nothing. Nothing. They tried for 45 minutes. In the first video I had, they tried for 45 minutes. And even at the end, where this commissioner said, hey, is there anything else you would like to say? I was like, you don't have jurisdiction over me. I order this matter to be dismissed with prejudice. That's what I said. I told him what to do. I said, I order this matter to be dismissed with prejudice. I made an order. And he was all like, well, I'm going to take that as a motion for reconsideration and it is hereby denied. I could care less what he said. I could care less. And then at the end of that video, after that, he's all, I do find you in contempt. Now we're going to set review hearings. Okay, so you found me in contempt, but then you want to see if I'm going to choose to stay in contempt or not be in contempt or pay for it's just their stupid little game. And then if you saw the next video I had, I gave them nothing. Started from the very beginning. Once they tried to talk to me, no, I'm not interested. That was once they wanted to swear in. They're all, please rise and hold your hand so you could swear in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? And she said yes, and I said, no, I'm not doing any of that. First and foremost, I reserve my rights and I waive none. I am present by special appearance in propria persona as the accused. There are due process violations on the record that cannot be cured. This matter is over. This matter needs to be dismissed with prejudice, or you can write an order I can appeal so I can file my lawsuits. I added that last part because that's what I'm going to do. I'll appeal and file lawsuits. And in case you guys haven't seen here, I have in fact filed a lawsuit against a judge already, which is actually an appeal right now because I did a small claims lawsuit for one of like the 14 violations that he committed against me. The attorney general that represented him, get this, the attorney general represents the child support agency that was coming after me for child support, is also the same attorney general that was representing the judge that was presiding over the case of child support. It's a fucking scam. It's all a goddamn scam. So anyways, the attorney general, I have it in the paperwork, actually said that they had no idea what we were talking about when it came to the child support laws. Like I have the paperwork. I have the paperwork from the attorney general representing the judge I sued, saying that they have no idea what I'm talking about in the child support laws. So that's another matter. Anyways, so there was a federal question, and this judge in small claims, because that's what they know. They don't know everything. They only know the justice court's jurisdiction of their small claim, and so this was way above their head, and they didn't understand what there's a federal question involved. It also has concurrent jurisdiction with the higher court. And so they sided with the attorney general, and I'm like, well, that's a void order. We're going to go ahead and appeal. And then I have appealed, and it's in the Superior Court now, and the entire bench of this county has recused. So now I'm waiting for an out-of-county judge to hear that matter. So back to this, right? So in my other video, same thing. If you guys saw that video, you guys saw that. If you saw that video, it ended even quicker. So the first hearing, I think, was like 40 minutes or 45 minutes, right? I gave them nothing. They kept asking questions. I gave them nothing. I repeated the same thing over and over. Second hearing was 17 and a half minutes. I gave them nothing. I didn't swear in. I repeated the same line over and over. I reserve all my rights, and I waive none. I am present by special appearance and propria persona as the accused. There are due process violations on the record that cannot be cured. This matter is over. Dismiss this matter with prejudice, or write an order I can appeal, and I'll file my lawsuits. That was it. Watch my video. That's what I did. 17 and a half minutes. And they already said I was found in contempt. They already said that. You're found in contempt. And then they said, okay, we'll do another review hearing. They had three hearings. They kept doing that over and over, right? Told me that I need to look for a job, report that I'm looking for a job, that I need to register with this workforce thing, that I need to report. I did nothing of the sort. I didn't do a goddamn thing that they asked me to do. So we get to the most previous hearing, which was in June. That was the last hearing that I had. That video I put up as well. And you'll notice that shit was over 9.5 minutes. We went from 45 minutes to 17.5 minutes to 9.5 minutes. 3 times in law. 3 times. You ask 3 times and it's done. 3 times they had 3 hearings. They asked over and over. In law, 3 times. When you send a contract, they give you a second notice and a final notice. 3 times. Remember that. 3 times. Right? So at the 3rd time, if you heard that video, I kept it the same exact way. And I filed as much. After each hearing, I would keep filing, hey, judicial notice, due process violations on the record, dismiss this matter. This is over. Dismiss this matter. Now you guys are, I can file a 1983 lawsuit, which is a civil rights lawsuit, when your civil rights, are violated, right? So all of that, and they even went as far as to, labeling me a vexatious litigant, which, by the way, only applies to attorneys. It does not apply to you. It does not apply to you. Okay? Look, this is, I think, something that you guys need to see. You need to be organized and have your shit together. Have my filing cabinet of how I keep my documents. Everything. Court cases and all this. I don't know if you can see this first one here. That says Attorney General. It comes out backwards on there. I don't know, maybe. This alone is from my hearings at court, December 14th. I don't know if you can see that. This is court filings, late 2021. Have my notice of intent fee schedule, presentments, oaths of office, notice to all, okay, down here we have my justice course, civil lawsuit. Healthcare and other stuff. And then I keep a spot for all of my certified sent mail receipts, everything. You have to be disciplined. You have to be disciplined. You have to put in work into your case. These attorneys have law degrees. They went to law school for 8 years. These judges have law degrees. They've been studying law forever, practicing law, practicing law for years. The judge that I beat at the last hearing had 25 years experience. The prosecutors, there's special prosecutors that have been practicing law for years and years and years. But yet it all came down to where I stood my ground. I gave no consent. I stood my ground, and they threatened me with jail. I have paperwork in this cabinet where they said they're going to send me to jail, they're going to issue sanctions, and whatever they're going to do, right? They told me that they're not going to let me file any of my paperwork unless I put must be vexatious litigant or some bullshit like that, right? I'm sure some of you guys have been labeled with that shit too. I love it. I love pulling this one out. This one's one of my favorites. Where's this shit at? There we go. Look at this. Look at the date of this. August 6th, 2021. And I don't know if you could read that there in the middle in bold. It says, notice this document is subject to the court's March 7, 2018 ruling designating the filers a vexatious litigant. It says, the filing did not contain the label petitioner was ordered to include in bold in the capture of any attempted filing stating, see in rules chamber's ruling. As such, it was not flagged for review and was filed without prior review. Now, having been properly filed, labeled, or distributed, the court directs this clerk of court to strike the pleading from the record, which, by the way, is a crime. They're not allowed to do that. Right? Where's the one where it says they're going to issue sanctions? I love that one. I love that one. Let me tell you why I like that one. Let me get this out. Let's see. All right. And so you guys know, because you guys are all scared. You're scared. They scare you into consent. I've seen it. I've seen it. The thing that you guys keep getting told over and over is they were forced to sign. There was pressure. There was this. There was that. You know what? You're scared. That's what it comes down to. You're scared. You think that they have power over you. No, they don't. Who are they? They're just another man, another woman. They have no power over you. And you're scared. They scare you into consent. All right. Let's see if I got this one. There we go. This is fun. This is fun. June 4th, 2021. Further, non-compliance with the prior order to properly label attempted filings with the vexatious litigant notice may be grounds for sanctions, as petitioner has now been admonished on this matter more than once. June 4, 2021. Sanctions. They threatened me with sanctions. That's cute. What did I do on July 1st? Not listen to them and file paperwork. And there we go. I even shoved it in their face. Another one without their stupid label. September 30th, 2021. filed. Memorandum of law in opposition to rules of the court. You gotta see how I ended this shit. Conclusion. The court has no legal authority to reject any paperwork with the due process of law pursuant to the First, Sixth, and 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution. Right? Now, I know some could say, oh, U.S. citizen and all this other stuff and whatever. That only comes to procedure, okay? Not to argument. You know, this is something that Chris from Child Support Made Simple, by the way. Shout out to Chris from Child Support Made Simple, because I didn't know these things. He coached me and helped me through all of this to get to where the position that I'm at. So, yeah, they have no legal authority to reject your paperwork. I never listened to a goddamn thing they said. No sanctions. No jail. I have not paid a goddamn thing in court. Right? I am opposed to their rules, and this is the law. It says, memorandum of law in opposition to rules of the court. How do I keep it the same? David Quintero, being duly sworn, deposes under penalty of perjury, affirms I am in propria persona, wrongfully accused, and named allegedly as the petitioner in the above captioned manner. Their status. We start with status. Right? Because they think this is me. They think this is me. This isn't me. This is their name. This is their label. So, how can I speak from status of a man to address this? Okay, so for them to accept it, this is who they want, and this is who I actually am. I'm in propria persona, David Quintero, allegedly as the petitioner. Okay? I don't listen to a goddamn thing they say. They made threats, and they haven't made good on any of them. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Stand your ground. Do not consent. Do not argue with them. Okay? But you also gotta, rebut everything. You rebut everything by first, you make your status. This is who I am. All right? And where they fail is in procedure. You're not arguing about the amounts of child support. No. Procedure. Procedure. You always stay with procedure. Right? That's what it is. You never get into an argument. You don't sway from procedure. You address procedure and procedure only. Okay? Does that make sense? Does anybody understand what I mean about procedure only and not, what is actually taking place? Like if you're talking about, like, let's say if people just want to change their child support to lower it, then that's not addressing procedures. You're addressing the contract. Which is fine if you wanna pay child support and you wanna do all that. It's fine. Go right ahead. But procedure is child support is a contract. The procedure to obtain a consenting contract is just that you need consent. I only spoke about procedure. All of my documents are about procedure. I never addressed a goddamn thing that had to do with their arguments. Now, I have arguments about procedure. However, it is not about what is actually taking place. Do you understand what I mean there? I don't know. I guess I see, 4 people on, so I guess if, I don't know if you do or don't understand what I mean about procedure. So, anyways, so where I'm at now, which has been the latest conversations I've had with, the Attorney General, with Division of Child Support Services, and all of them, and whatever, is now in procedure. They're supposed to close my case. So I called the Attorney General. They've withdrawn. They're done. And it actually happened. If any of you heard the last hearing in which I shut down in 9.5 minutes, you can hear it like on the record in the recording when the Attorney General withdrew. Hilarious. Hilarious. You guys could see me in the video going, right? So yeah, I actually called the Attorney General, and that was one of the conversations I posted up. Yeah, they're out. So I sent them a letter, which was, this is dope. Here's what I sent to the Attorney General. I actually just mailed this out October 21st. So that was yesterday. So, in court case, referring Atlas number and whatnot, which is the child support number or whatever, to the Attorney General or Attorney General herein after AG, our office demands that the AG send a letter to the state Title 40 agency Division of Child Support Services herein after the agency stating that the AG was not able to enforce their claim upon their all caps name. They were not able to enforce their claim upon their all caps name and deemed the case against their all caps name unenforceable. Section 45 CFR 303.11, Section 1B, there's no longer a current support order in arrearages under 500 or unenforceable under state law. The AG has exhausted all remedies and attempted enforcement actions because what is their attempted enforcement action? Contempt, right? That's what they tried to do. That's what they tried to do. That's their enforcement action. That's their remedy. Did they come away with remedy? No. They withdrew from the case. So, okay, you guys withdrew from the case? How about you put that on into the court? Right there. It says, AG has exhausted all remedies and attempted enforcement actions with this matter and must therefore notice to the court its withdrawal of services, case closure, and must deem it unenforceable. The AG must also give notice to the agency of its withdrawal from services, case closure from this matter, and note that the AG was not able to enforce its claim and deem it unenforceable. Office of David Quintero, office, right? Because who am I on here? I determine my status. I'm the executor by special appearance, all rights reserved pursuant to UCC 1308. Oh, and there's my certified mail number. Right there, in which I mailed it to, and they have, my certified mail return receipt proof of service that someone has to sign for. Right? Demands the above action be carried out within 10 business days, must and long send a copy to our office, notice of withdrawal of services, and given to the agency and the court. And then, that's where this shall serve as an intent to file a claim against the AG if this matter is not withdrawn and closed according to 45 CFR 303.11. See attached memorandum of law. Well, that's because I'm also demanding that they give me back my unemployment because it was unlawfully taken. So anyway, that's where I'm at with the things that I'm doing. Now, it would be nice if they followed the law. Whether or not they're going to do it or not, that's when I seek relief and I file lawsuits. And I'm not afraid to file lawsuits. In my lifetime, I've filed 5 lawsuits. I have won 3, lost 1, and I have 1 in appeal right now. Right? I didn't study law. All I did was, I didn't go to law school. I did was study, law here online. Within the groups, everybody shares good information. Tynan, Ronald Love, like these guys, read the things that they post. Sometimes even though it might not apply to you, at some point because it doesn't apply to you yet, at some point it might. because we're all here for the same reason, same topic, right? Child support, right? We're all here for the same topic, and also, child custody and all that. But at some point, whether or not it's relevant to you at the time when you read it or see it, it probably will be later. Try to stay within the scope of the law. There's a lot of other things outside there as far as other things that people try to do, this whole 1099 process and all that. I'm not saying that none of that is true. I just have yet to see it work. I haven't seen proof of that. I haven't seen proof of, a lot of the other things that people talk about outside of law. Outside of law, I haven't seen proof of people getting their remedies and, being able to defeat it. So keep that in mind, okay? If you're within the scope of the law and you see a way out, use that as your way out. And first and foremost, the quickest way to basically get child support off your back is to be self-employed. That's the quickest way. That's the number one quickest way, right? If you're willing to do whatever it takes, then do whatever it takes, because child support is going to follow you around forever. So I'm a man of honor, and I'm always honest. I am still on child support. However, for a fact, I do not pay. They know I do not pay, and there's nothing they can do about it. I am self-employed. They do not have access to my money. So therein lies kind of like a loophole, right? And they went through their contempt procedure and they couldn't get anything out of me. So that's why the Attorney General has withdrawn, right? And so now I'm just pushing for the next step to get them to close the case. And I know that they can close the case. If you heard that last video, they said that they can't close the case. They actually can. They actually can, because I have a copy of a case closure from them, okay? It's their contract. Why would the person that made it the contract not be able to close their contract? They are lying. They are lying. They are lying. They are lying. Don't believe everything that they say to you. They are allowed to lie. The court, the agency, prosecutors, they're all allowed to lie. Right? So, anyways, I went on for quite a bit on here. I just wanted to let you guys know about that. I had a conversation today with an attorney regarding child custody. I pretended that there was an issue. There was no issue. I just pretended that there was one because I wanted some answers. So I'm going to post that because later, and I think it's really important, especially for fathers that are dealing with this custody issue, to hear it. So I'm gonna work on that and post that. It might be a few days, but yeah. Anyways, the channel is on YouTube. I'm so offended. I'm so is SOOO, 3 O's. So offended. Or I'm David Dynamic here on the group, or I'm DVD Quintero, like broken down. I have 2 accounts because I get thrown in the Facebook jail or whatever. But yeah, if you have questions, I'll answer questions. But again, Chris from Child Support Made Simple was the guy that helped me. He taught me a lot, and so I owe that guy a lot. Once I'm off of this beast, which I feel is coming very, very soon, I'm going to take really good care of Chris. I'm going to give him a cut of the money that I would be expecting from my taxes, because I haven't filed taxes because child support's going to take it, right? So I haven't filed. I'm just waiting until I get my case closure to file taxes, and so I'm gonna take care of my mans. I still donate to Chris. Chris still takes my calls, still does paperwork for me. Chris provided, if there's proof that exists, it's my videos is proof. Chris is proof that he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's talking about. And here I am, in the position I am. So anyways, do not consent. Check out the videos. All right? All right.